morning. Welcome to CATEX TV. My name is Frank Fortunato. Today is Thursday, December 19th, 2013. If you're a radio listener and wish to watch, go to www.catex.com. The UK Regulatory Authority for Insurance, the Financial Conduct Authority, has fined London-based broker JLT Specialty more than about $2.9 million US for failing to maintain adequate safeguards against the risk of bribery or corruption when making payments to overseas third parties. Apparently, according to the regulator, they found that JLT failed to manage such risks during the period 2009 to 2012. They said that the company failed to conduct proper due diligence before allowing such payments. JLT has been on an acquisition run of late and is now solidly positioned as number 4. The Federal Reserve, Ben Bernanke, in an outgoing talk yesterday, indicated that the Fed is going to gradually taper back its bond purchases. Stock market futures are up right now. The market seems to have already baked this in. The Federal Reserve said that the economy is robust enough that it no longer needs to maintain the $85 billion a month buyback of mortgage-backed securities. They're going to reduce it to $75 billion starting in January. At the same time, the Federal Reserve committed to the maintenance of very low short-term interest rates. Royal Sun Alliance, the big British insurer, which has seen its shares fall about 30% since early November, now has its shareholders looking at its auditor. This is pretty predictable. They're looking at Deloitte. Deloitte has received $16 million in consulting fees from RSA since 2010, surpassing the amount it received in audit fees. This is a bit of an unusual ratio. The ratio of non-audit payments to audit fees was 3 times the average for big companies in Britain. Shares in AmTrust Financial, a U.S.-based insurance company and reinsurer, took another beating yesterday in the stock market in New York, entirely erasing their advance since the beginning of the year. The stock has now fallen 32% in the month of December alone, wiping out all of the company's gains in 2013. Their decline is blamed in part on criticism of the company in an investing report that came out last week. AmTrust has said the report contains factual misstatements. Big news this morning in the United States is the retail store Target. They've confirmed this morning that it's investigating a security breach involving stolen credit card and debit card information involving 40 million of its retail customers. This all apparently occurred in actual in-store transactions on November 27th, the day after Thanksgiving, which is known as Black Friday. It's the biggest shopping day of the year. The U.S. Secret Service is involved in this as well. 51 crew members of the American nuclear-powered aircraft carrier, the USS Ronald Reagan, say that they are suffering from a variety of cancers as a direct result of their involvement in the U.S. rescue mission in Fukushima after the Japanese earthquake. The affected sailors are suing the Tokyo Electric Power Company, alleging that the utility mishandled the crisis and did not adequately warn the crew of the dangers of participating in the earthquake relief efforts. Many of the crew members, who are only in their 20s, have been diagnosed with conditions including thyroid cancer, testicular cancer, and leukemia. The USS Ronald Reagan was exposed, apparently, to radiation. Deployed ships in the area desalinate their own water, so crew members were unknowingly drinking, cooking with, and bathing in contaminated water. The Reagan was ultimately informed of the contamination after a month of being parked about 10 miles offshore from the crippled nuclear reactor. Honda Motor Company is smiling today. They've topped the insurance industry's annual list of the safest new cars. The Insurance Institute for Highway Safety came out with their annual report today. They gave 39 vehicles top safety ratings for 2014. Last year they gave out 130 top safety ratings, but there are standards now this year that are much tougher. 22 cars got the absolute top grade, 12 others got the grade just below it. Honda got the most winners of any car maker, with 8 of its vehicles making the list. The Honda Civic Hybrid, the Accord, the Acura RLX, and the Acura MDX all got the top pick. Well, every year towards the end of the year, President Vladimir Putin of Russia gives his end-of-the-year press conference. It lasts for several hours, and it's a little bit of a free-for-all. You can ask him anything you want. He always comes out with some interesting gems, and today he said that the National Security Agency surveillance in the United States is necessary to fight terrorism. But he did concede that the government needs to, quote, limit the appetite of the agency and to establish a clear set of ground rules. His statement was a surprising indication of support for President Obama. Putin, of course, is a 16-year veteran of the Russian KGB. He's the former chief of the Russian main espionage agency. He said that while the NSA program, quote, isn't a cause for joy, it's not a cause for repentance either, because it's needed to fight terrorism. When he was asked about the former NSA contractor, Edward Snowden, who was in Russia on asylum for a year, he said he hasn't met with him, and he insisted that Russian security agencies haven't worked with him. When he was asked about the bailout of the Ukraine government that occurred yesterday, he insisted that Russia's bailout of the economically struggling country was driven by a desire to help a fraternal brother, a brother country, and was not linked at all to its talks with the European Union. There'll be more information as to what President Putin said. It seems that he's still speaking right now. That's the news for today. If we have any breaking news, we'll come back and tell you. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow.